Cal, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield.
Alright, welcome into the Salamander Society. Today we're going to be talking some fantasy rebooking. I'm going to rebook Dean Ambrose rise to the title and Roman Reigns heel turn, even though that's not happened quite yet. But I'm going to rebook this as Ambrose and Roman's rise to the top. So let's just get right into it. We're going to start in Survivor Series 2015. If you remember, this is when Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose met in the main event of the culmination of a tournament to crown the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion after Seth Rollins had to forfeit it because of an injury. And Seth Rollins' injury will be the only one that will be canon in this thing, because that's what starts it. So John Cena, Cesaro, they will be healthy for this. And injuries like that, they'll be healthy for this. Neville, and he won't be an integral part, but anyways. Survivor Series 2015, it's still a tournament for the title, and it ends in Dean Ambrose and Roman, just like it did. And Sheamus still cashes in. Those three things will still happen. And before you just quit this, just keep going with me. Sheamus cashes in. Dean hits the dirty deeds on Roman, and it looks to be about to win. And that's when Sheamus comes out of nowhere, hits him with the briefcase, cashes in, brogue kicks Dean Ambrose, and wins the title, screwing over Dean and Roman, but mostly Dean Ambrose. And Triple H comes out and holds up Sheamus's hand, just like that. And this is still going to happen with Roman Reigns being approached by Triple H a few weeks before about becoming his new man and becoming the new champion without having to go through this tournament. He comes out and holds up Sheamus' hand like he did in the end there, and it's announced that Sheamus will be on the Today Show, which would not be a huge thing except for what's going to happen the next night. The night after SummerSlam, or Survivor Series, Roman opens the show. He's really, really ticked off. He says not only did Sheamus run off with the title, with my title, but he broke Dean Ambrose's nose with the Money in the Bank briefcase. He broke his nose, he broke my best friend's nose, and he won't be back for a while. He'll have to miss out on getting paid and feeding his family. So Triple H comes out, and he talks a little bit about his success story, Sheamus. Talks a little bit about him. And then he says, but Roman, that was supposed to be you. All you had to do was shake my hand. Roman says that you have no idea how much I want to spear you. You have no idea how much I want to destroy you right now. Triple H says, do you really? Do you really? Because what I think what you want to do is shake my hand. Now come on, Dean Ambrose isn't here. Sheamus isn't even here because he's on the Today Show. He isn't even here. And you're my number one guy still. I think you're tired of seeing my proteges take your title. If you remember, Seth Rollins took your title at WrestleMania 31. You saw my new guy, Sheamus, take the Money in the Bank briefcase from you. And then you saw him take that title from you last night with that Money in the Bank briefcase. So I can see how you want to hurt me. Or maybe you're just tired of seeing my guys take your title. And you're going to say, hey, if you can't beat them, join them. At which point Triple H extends his hand, and Roman sits there for a minute after, and he looks really jumbled up inside. He doesn't know what to pick. He looks really divided inside his mind. After staring at his hand for a minute, he actually looks like he might do it, and then he just simply walks away. He walks away shaking his head like, no, I can't do this. This continues up to TLC. Every week Triple H will come out and make an offer to Roman, and so on and so forth. This will happen all the way up till TLC. This whole time, you're thinking, this is messed up. It's not Roman's title. It was Dean's title at Survivor Series. He's the one who was about to win against Roman until Sheamus stepped up. And this gets the same kind of heat that Roman's getting right now, because it seems that Triple H backstage is handing these things to Roman. And that's in my world, that's what it would mean. That's what you're meaning to do, is make it look like Roman is getting this stuff handed to him. And it's set up that Roman will go against Sheamus in a TLC match, just like what happened, but Sheamus will be the champion, just like what happened. And Roman and Sheamus go out and they have a great match, like they did in real life. It was a hellacious match. In the end, Sheamus is climbing the ladder with Roman down, like what happened, but instead of just grabbing the title, Dean Ambrose comes out, and the crowd pops huge. Dean comes out. He's kind of checking his nose a little bit, like he does with his injuries. Like with his arm, he would just like slap it and stuff. So he just kind of like breaks his nose almost, and then he ends up putting a dirty deeds on Sheamus. And this is where security comes out, led by Triple H, and they take Dean out of the building. And Sheamus is now up and brogue kicks Roman Reigns, climbs the ladder, and retains, just like that. But it's not like looking down and seeing Roman climb back in. Roman is on the ground on his back. And Roman does what he did to Triple H to Sheamus instead of Triple H. He absolutely destroys him. He's getting frustrated. You can see that he doesn't like this. He wants his title. The next night, Dean comes out and talks about how he needs his title shot. He needs his title shot, and he explains how he was the one that was screwed over by Sheamus, not Roman Reigns. And then Triple H comes out and says this: the Royal Rumble will be for the WWE title, just like it was. And I'm going to announce right now that Sheamus will be number 30, just like that. And the build for Roman Reigns and the build for Royal Rumble is Dean and Ambrose having tensions between each other on who deserves the title more. And Dean feels like that he was screwed out of it, and Roman feels like he was screwed out of it, which both have a viable argument there, and that's what makes it good. That's what makes the stories good. And we get to Royal Rumble now, 2016. Dean comes out number 1. After all, he comes out number 1, and he cleans house for the first 5 entrants. One after another, just throws each one of them out. Miz, R-Truth, Stardust, Jim and Marvin Luther, etc. And he's celebrating when number 7 is coming out. And it's none other than AJ Styles. Just like what happened, but 4 entrants later. And they have an entertaining minute and a half before the Royal Rumble starts back up like normal. They try to throw that person out, but it just kind of goes on, and it snowballs into having 10 guys in the ring. But I liked how it happened in real life, so I'm going to keep it this way, that there's other little storylines being built, like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, AJ Styles and Chris Jericho, and stuff like that. I liked that part of it, so I want to keep that in there. The other storylines are being built up. Number 27 comes around, and it's Roman Reigns. He comes out to boos because 27 is the lucky number, and it still looks like Roman's getting handed things. He eliminates 3 people, and we get all the way to number 37 or number 30. And Sheamus comes in, and the match goes on for a little bit. He may eliminate a couple people, but he doesn't eliminate near as much as Roman does. And then a minute and a half later, the clock starts going again, and everybody looks confused over there. Kind of after they punch a little bit and look over there confused, and it goes 3, 2, 1, man, and then the chord of Triple H's music. He comes down to surprise of everybody. Number 31 is Triple H. Comes down, throws 3 people out, just like Roman did, and they go at it. And the final 4 is Triple H, Sheamus, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns. Triple H surprises everybody out of nowhere and throws out Sheamus. And Dean Ambrose turns right around and eliminates Triple H. So Dean and Roman stand there back face to face, and they start fighting. Triple H comes right back in with a chair, hits Dean Ambrose, and then he surprises everybody by handing Roman Reigns the chair. Roman Reigns takes it, waits a minute, and then he starts destroying Dean Ambrose with the chair. And he ends up throwing him out and winning the WWE title, effectively turning heel on his brother, on his own brother. They go, and that happens, and the show closes with Roman's hand being raised by Triple H with the title in the other hand, signifying the close of his story, which he wanted the WWE title, and now he had to sell his soul to get it. And that's exactly what Dean Ambrose is going to play to. Triple H comes out on the Raw after Royal Rumble and says, I may not have won the Royal Rumble, but I might as well have, because Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble. He doesn't say that, but I'm just saying that. Now welcome. I want to welcome my new man, my new protege, Roman Reigns. And you think the boos are thunderous now. You think the boos are bad now. They are going to be legendary. They're going to be nuclear on that night. And Roman Reigns comes out in a suit. Roman Reigns comes down in a suit with the championship on his shoulder, and he talks about how he relied on the fans. He does this full-on heel promo. He relied on the fans to support him and bring him a title, and it got him nothing. But the night he aligned himself with the greatness of Triple H, and the night that he gave over to Triple H, I got what I wanted, and I got what you people could never give me, that title. He talks about how he was approached by Triple H, and he was the night right before the Royal Rumble, and he's just honest in his mind. He finally gave in, but he didn't show it, and he knew that Triple H would come out number 31, and it just kind of happened from there that Triple H handed him a chair, and he destroyed Dean with it. And next, Triple H says, speaking of Dean Ambrose, he will be a part of a 16-man tournament that will go on right now, culminating at the Fastlane pay-per-view for the number one contendership to the WWE title at WrestleMania 32. And that's when Dean's music hits. He comes out and goes straight to the ring, face-to-face with Roman. Looks like he wants to just destroy him. And Triple H says, it's great that you came out here, Dean, because your first round match starts right now, and it's against the Big Show. And even though the Big Show gets a lot of flack, when you say the Big Show, you mean that means that business is about to happen, and you better be scared, because this is a huge man. So I'll go through the tournament here. This week on Raw, that week that Dean Ambrose comes out right there, it'll be Dean versus Big Show. The IC champion, Kevin Owens, versus Titus O'Neil. Kevin Owens keeps the champion, or wins the championship back at Royal Rumble. Or they never go against each other. I'll just say that. Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens never have a feud or anything. AJ Styles versus Rusev, who is the U.S. champion at this time. And Chris Jericho versus The Miz, who is not the IC champion. Dean Ambrose wins, Kevin Owens wins, and they'll meet up 2 weeks from then for their second round match. Kevin Owens wins, AJ Styles wins, and Y2J wins. AJ and Y2J go and face in the second round, which will lead to a feud. Then the next week it'll be Sheamus versus Mark Henry, which Sheamus wins. Sami Zayn versus Zack Ryder, which Sami Zayn wins, and then it'll be Sami Zayn versus Sheamus in 2 weeks. Cesaro versus Ryback, or the next week, I'm sorry. Cesaro versus Ryback. Cesaro wins, and Dolph Ziggler versus Del Rio, which Dolph Ziggler wins. So the next week on Raw, it's the second round, and it's Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens, which Dean Ambrose wins. AJ versus Y2J, and AJ wins. And that, like I said, that goes off into a feud after the go-home show. Sheamus versus Sami Zayn, Sheamus wins. Cesaro and Dolph Ziggler Cesaro wins. And the go-home show, the Fastlane, Dean Ambrose versus AJ Styles. Dean wins with distraction from Y2J to AJ, and Sheamus wins against Cesaro. So it's going to be Dean versus Sheamus at Fastlane for the number one contendership to Roman Reigns' title at WrestleMania 32. It's a good match at Fastlane. Let's just skip ahead to Fastlane. In the end, the ref is knocked down, which prompts Roman to come out, as Dean is in control of the match at this time, and there's a face-off right there between those two. They punch, they go at it, and Roman goes for a spear. Dean kicks him right in the gut and gives him a dirty deeds. And then Sheamus broad kicks Dean out of nowhere. As the ref is coming to, and after a long, when the ref gets injured and he has to do that long count, and it's a long count, and Dean kicks out the very last second of a brogue kick, and the crowd is going nuts. Sheamus tries to finish him with another brogue kick, sets him up, but Dean does exactly what he did to Roman. He kicks him in the gut, and he gives him a dirty deeds, and this time he pins him 1, 2, 3. And after a while of celebration, he's got his hand raised, and he's gone to the corner and given it to the crowd, and then he comes back down from the corner. Roman Reigns gives him a hellacious spear out of nowhere, and then ends the show with the title raised and looking down on Dean Ambrose's corpse. The build to WrestleMania. Throughout the build, Dean Ambrose talks about how he's been screwed over many times, and Roman has too, but Roman gave up. Roman cracked under pressure. He gave in to that pressure of being screwed. When he felt the feeling of being cheated, he bowed his knee to the king, talking about Triple H. And I'm here to prove to Roman that you can throw that king off of his throne and take it. You don't have to give in, and it's a good promo right there. I may have given. And Roman comes down at that point because he feels like he's being misrepresented, and he says, "I may have given in, but look what it got me. It got me the title." And that's what kind of drives that. Dean keeps playing to what he's playing to, and Roman keeps playing to what he's playing to. And one week on the build, Seth Rollins even confronts both of them and says he has respect for Roman for doing what's necessary. And he thinks Dean's an idiot for trying this fairy tale route, this one where it'll be a fairy tale to get back to it. And that's what it kind of ends out as. And at Roadblock, Dean Ambrose faces Triple H, just like what happened with Roman at ringside. And they have a great match, just like they did in real life. And this is a lot of reality right here. It's just a little bit change on the story, a little bit. They have a great match, like they did, and at the end, Triple H distracts the ref while Roman spears Dean. And Triple H pedigrees Dean and wins 1, 2, 3. The Raw after that, Triple H comes out and confronts Dean and says, "We did cheat, I'll say that. But I think that we should make it to where if we did it again at WrestleMania, it wouldn't be cheating. Your match with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania will be no holds barred." So he says that knowing that Roman will have the advantage because of his strength, even though Dean is known to be an extreme wrestler, Roman has the strength advantage, and that's what gives him an advantage in that arena there. And this feud would need a no-holds-barred match. If you just see what it is, brother versus brother, one brother turned on the other brother, so this needs a feud. This feud needs a no-holds-barred match. And we skip ahead to WrestleMania 32. Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns, and they go out and have a 45-minute knockdown, drag-out match. Remember, it's a no-holds-barred match, so this 45-minute match would be great. Going all over the stadium, literally all over the stadium, out into the crowd, onto the stage, all over it. And this would be awesome. With that big old stadium, that would be awesome if they went around the stadium in the match. In the finish, Dean hits Dirty Deeds, and then Roman kicks out. Very, very late, though. And Dean is like, that was a slow count, ref, come on. And Triple H comes out of nowhere. No music, no anything, and he pedigrees him. And eventually, Roman, he's kind of sitting there. He's kind of recovering from that Dirty Deeds. He crawls over eventually to cover Dean, and 1, 2, Dean kicks out right at the last second. And Triple H, furious, jumps in the ring with a chair, goes to hit Dean. Dean kicks him. He's up by now. Triple H waits until he gets up. Dean kicks him, and Dirty Deeds him right onto the chair. He kicks him. Triple H drops the chair right in front of him, and he Dirty Deeds him on the chair. And then he grabs that chair and tears Roman a new one, just like he did at Royal Rumble. Just like Roman did to him at Royal Rumble, Dean tears Roman Reigns up with a chair. And then he goes after Triple H, brings him to the outside, destroys him with that chair. He lays him up on the announce table. He goes up to the top rope, and just like Seth Rollins did on Brock Lesnar in Royal Rumble 2015, Dean Ambrose jumps off that top rope, gives a flying elbow on Triple H onto the table, effectively disqualifying Triple H from any more getting into this match. And eventually, Dean crawls into the ring, but he crawls right into a spear. And 1, 2, and Dean Ambrose barely gets his shoulder up in Roman Reigns fashion. It looks like they're booking him to be strong. And the crowd will be going nuts by now with that 1-2 kick out. They will be going nuts. Everybody thought for sure that was it. The spear gets everybody. 1-2 kicks out. Roman grabs a chair. He is frustrated. And he grabs that chair and he throws it on the ground, and he grabs Dean and he power bombs him onto that chair. And he starts taunting the crowd like, I'm the best, I'm the champ. And Roman sets up in the corner for that spear. He runs right in, and listen to this. He runs in with his head down, with his arms up, about to tackle him. And Dean somehow jumps up, hooks those arms, or doesn't have to jump up. He hooks those arms and just falls right into the Dirty Deeds. I'm telling you that is possible, and it is going to be awesome if that happens. If that had happened, him countering that spear into a Dirty Deeds, 1, 2, 3, Dean wins. Remember, this is a fantasy book, and after 5 months of being snubbed and screwed out of the title, even by his own brother, Dean Ambrose holds that title over his head, not only elevating Dean, it elevates Roman to the top heel, elevates Dean to the top babyface, and it elevates the title. Dean Ambrose holds the title after WrestleMania 32, and that is my version of Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns' rise to the top. Tell me what you thought about it. Tell me if you were entertained by it, and tell me what you would have done differently. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, do all those things, and I'll see you later.